Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Idea Spot channel. I'm Alex. I'm going to take you through an entire website building course today so you can start from nothing and build a total website by the end of this video. Shout outs to all my subscribers, anyone watching, just say hi in the comments. Just say, hey Alex, how's it going? I'm going to reply to everyone no matter what the comment is. I always reply to every single comment.
So basically in this tutorial, you're going to learn how to build a professional looking website just like this one, starting completely from scratch. You'll learn how to set up your hosting and your domain name through SiteGround, and then you're going to learn how to design with the Astra theme and the Elementor page builder. We're going to be using the free versions of both. And from there, you can use the other videos in our channel to turn your website into an e-commerce website. So that means you'll be able to do affiliate blogging, you'll be able to do digital products, drop shipping, print on demand, pretty much anything in e-commerce that you're interested in. Our channel will be able to help you get there. So if that sounds interesting, click subscribe and keep watching.
Now, it is a little bit long, so in the description, you'll find an index that covers every step, and then you can skip between steps or skip ahead if you already understand something I'm covering, and you'll get the full treatment in this video. Okay, so this tutorial is specifically based on SiteGround hosting, but you can use any hosting that you want. I just think SiteGround has the best price to performance, especially when you're starting out. I can probably recommend, if you're just doing one website, just go $3.95 a month. There isn't much better value around. Link in the description where you can get that discount. When you first sign up, you can get a huge discount, so definitely check that out. Otherwise, just skip ahead in the video to the WordPress section where you can just start from there. Use whatever host you want. You can follow the same tutorial from that point. Okay, so now we're going to head over to SiteGround. I'm going to walk you through the entire sign up and setup process. So let's get started.
Okay, let's head over to SiteGround.com, and you'll see that SiteGround has web hosting, WordPress hosting, WooCommerce. They're all actually the same, so just click Get Started. Now we can choose a plan. We'll see that there are 3 plans. There's Startup, and there is Grow Big and Go Geek. Startup, only $3.95 a month. You get only one website. It's good for about 10K visits a month. Grow Big, a couple dollars more. It's the recommended one because you get unlimited websites, and that's 25,000 visits you can get a month. And Go Geek, it's the more advanced one for like a professional web developers and coders. We'll just use the Startup for this. And the first step here is registering a domain. This will be the name for your website. So you can register a new .com, .com.au, .net, lots of different choices here. The other choice is if you already own a domain, you can use your existing domain and link it to SiteGround. So you just type your name in there. Otherwise, we're going to register a .com for this example. So finding a .com that's still free these days can be hard. I like to use leandomainsearch.com. Let's say our name was Jake. So I'll type Jake's in there, and that'll generate some nice ideas. So I came up with Jake's data. So let's use that for this example and click Proceed. Next, it's just a matter of entering all of our details. Pop your email, make up a nice strong password in there, put in all your personal details, your city, your address. I'm just going to fill that in. If you've got a company or company number, you can put those in there. Then just put in your payment details. That's all pretty straightforward. So now we choose our data center. I'm from Australia, so Singapore is probably the closest one to me. UK, USA, or Europe, wherever your audience is going to be from is important. So, and here we choose our duration. You can choose 36 months, 12 months, or 24, up to you. We do need the domain registration, but the other extras you don't actually need. So I'm going to leave those unticked. And then you just agree to the terms and then pay now. And just wait a second while that gets all set up. So now we head back to SiteGround.com. We can log in. Now we just have to put in the email and password that we set up just then and click next, put in our password here, and we can log in. That'll take us to our dashboard. So from here, we've got the option to set up our site. So we can click that. You can also click websites, and from there you can make a new website or create website. These do the same thing. So we can just click set up site here. So here we can add our website. You can use the existing domain that you just registered or make a temporary one just for testing. You could even just create a completely new one, up to you. I've got an existing one that's spare at the moment called ideaspot.site, but you'd just use whatever you just registered here. So just drop that in. Mine's called ideaspot.site and click continue. So here we're going to be starting a new website, and we're going to choose which application. So WordPress, you can choose WordPress plus WooCommerce. I'm just going to choose plain WordPress for this demo, but you can totally add WooCommerce later. There's no problem with what you choose at the moment. Go ahead and make a login and password for your WordPress site. So this is going to be different from what you're logging in with. You can use the same if you want, but I would choose a different password. Make sure they're both strong passwords. And then once you've done that, go ahead, click continue. Okay, so now I'm just going to save my password there, and it will say that we are adding our new website with the domain Ideaspot site. You don't need to buy their site scanner. I'll show you how to do a free site scan later, and we just have to wait a couple of minutes while they set up our website. Okay, now that your website has been set up, you can head over to websites. You can see the website you just made. You can get to WordPress by clicking WordPress there. We can add SSL. We can add CloudFlare. I'll show you how to do that later. Let's add SSL. Okay, so SSL is basically used to secure your website's address. Now, I recommend using the wildcard one. You can use the basic one if you want, but this has a few more features that might be helpful in the future if you need. Let's click activate. Wait for this to load. And here we'll see our website name, and here we just select the one we just chose. So that was the wildcard option, and click get. Wait for that to load. And there we'll see we've got success. We can click configure HTTPS here. This will load up a little bit of a guide where you can read about how HTTPS works and how you configure it and why it's important. But basically, all you really need to know is you need to HTTPS enforce. So let's head back there and click those three dots and click enforce HTTPS. Wait for this to load up. And now all we have to do is, there's a little slider button there next to our site. So let's click that. It'll turn blue. We'll get a little success box there. So now our HTTPS is all working. So now when we go to our site, ideaspot.site has a little padlock there. So it's all secure. This is a basic WordPress site. You can actually log in from here as well, but you can also log in back from the SiteGround dashboard. Either way is cool. Let's head back to our account now. Okay, so back at our dashboard, we can go back to websites here, and from here, we can get back to WordPress anytime by clicking WordPress Kit and clicking WordPress Admin. So that will take us back to our admin login page. And this is how you get into the back end of your WordPress site. So just put your password in there. You can actually remember your password. We can see it's all secure. We log in. Okay, so our dashboard's going to load up. I'll save my password there, and it's going to say, welcome to WordPress. Let's start now. So this has a little design tutorial built into it, but actually the themes here are probably not as good as the one I'd recommend. The one I'd recommend is Astra, which is not on this list. So let's just scroll back down to the bottom down here, and then we can click exit. So I'm going to show you how to install a theme from the dashboard itself, rather than using that tutorial. So here we are in our dashboard. Okay, so from here, you can do basically anything you want to your WordPress website. So the first thing I'll do is go to plugins and install plugins. So by default, SiteGround's given us a couple pre-installed plugins. They've given us the SiteGround Optimizer and WordPress Starter. I'm going to deactivate the WordPress Starter. It just cleans up the interface a bit, gets rid of all the extra stuff that SiteGround installed, makes it look nice and a little bit tidier, a little bit cleaner. The next step that we do is let's head over to Settings and General. And from here, we're going to add HTTPS. So it's just a matter of putting an S in front of that HTTP. And then we scroll down to the bottom and click Save. That makes sure all the new things that we build are going to be with HTTPS. Now let's head to permalinks. This is fairly important. Let's change our permalinks to post name. I think this is a little bit better for Google search rankings, and let's hit save. It's also better for a lot of plugins as well. So a lot of plugins recommend using post name as your permalink. So now back on our dashboard. Let's go Appearance and Themes, and now we're going to download the Astra theme. So the first time you use WordPress, I always recommend learning with the Astra theme. I seem to get the best results in the shortest amount of time when I use this theme. So let's search for Astra and go ahead and click Install and wait for that to install. When that's installed, let's click Activate. And now it'll say, thank you for installing Astra. Let's click Get Started. And now we choose our page builder. So you can choose Gutenberg, Elementor, Beaver Builder, or Brizy. I actually think Elementor still offers the best features for a free page builder. So let's choose that one and click Next. Now the starter sites are going to load up here. So this is the great thing about Astra. It comes with 102 starter sites, and I think 44 of those starter sites are actually free. So let's wait for that to load. Okay, let's have a look at these starter sites in more detail. There's 44 of them and they're free. So Custom Print, good for t-shirts. Accountant, good for professional websites. And we've also got LearnDash, which is great for running courses. And there is also Outdoor Adventure, which is good for like lifestyle, outdoor blogging, that sort of thing. And there's Coach, which is a really good, just general professional company website. So let's go for that one for this example. So you can preview it and have a look around before you make your choice. Look at any of the pages. When you're ready, click Import Site. Let's wait for that to import. It does take a couple of minutes for this to import, so be patient. I'm going to skip ahead. So when that's done, you can click Done and you can view your site. That took only 55 seconds, so not too bad. Wait for that to load up, and there we go. We've got IdeaSpot site. We've got our starter site loaded in. All that we have to do now is change the content so it matches our project. I'm going to load up these pages so we can have a quick look at what we're dealing with. So we've got our About page here. You can see that the design of this website is it's nice and clean, simple, easy to read, easy to work with. So you can edit that by clicking Edit with Elementor. We'll do that in a minute. They've got an ebook page here. You can totally change this by editing with Elementor. Same thing with this course page. And we've also got a contact page, which is cool. People can fill in the contact form and they can contact you through your website. Let's just head back to the home page for now. Okay, back on our home page. Now, the first thing we might work on is our header up here. So you can see we've got a logo and a menu there. I'll show you how to customize that. We do this through the theme customizer. So in your header menu there, we click Customize, wait for the customizer to load up. So this is your theme customizer menu. So the Astra menu looks like this. Depending on which theme you're using, it might look a little bit different, but they're all pretty similar. And you'll get these little blue pencils here where you can shortcut to different things in the menu. So I'm going to start with that logo. Let's click that pencil and we can change this logo. Okay, so let's click here, change logo, and I'm going to drag in my IdeaSpot logo. I'll show you how to make logos a little bit later on, so keep watching and I'll show you how I made my logo. I'm going to click select and you can skip cropping and there we go. You can see it's a little bit too big. I'll show you how to resize that in a minute. We just go down to logo width and there we can change the width of our logo. I always think something around 70 looks pretty good. Let's make it 70. There we go. Now for the retina logo, we can use a different logo or the same one. I think this one is a good size already, so we can just click remove and the retina logo can be the same. Okay, so while we're on this menu, let's scroll down and see what else there is we can change. So from here, we can also change the site title and the tagline and the site icon. So let's go ahead and do that. So for this demo, I think I'll call my site idea Spot Tech, and we're going to do an example of a say tech blog. And you can display the title here if you like, and that will put your title up here. If you'd want to display inline, it'll look a little better. Tick that box there. You could have that title with the logo, and you could turn it off if you want. If you just want the logo, just untick that box. Tagline, you can have a tagline as well. I'm going to call mine tech reviews and tutorials. Make sure you do set that. Even if you're going to turn the tagline off, it's important to actually have the tagline set, because Google search will put that tagline in the search results. So you want to make sure it makes sense, and don't leave it as just another WordPress site. Definitely change it to suit your website. But for this demo, I'm going to turn the tagline off. So that looks pretty good. Make sure you click publish after making any changes, just so it all saves and links up with your website. Let's click this menu button here. This will take us to the menu page, and we're going to click edit menu. There we see our menu. So these items here match up exactly with these items here. So if you want to change that, you can click add items. This also lets you remove items as well. So let's say we wanted to remove ebooks. You can just click the red X. Now it doesn't delete the page. All it does is removes it from the menu, and you can add any page on your website into your menu through here. So let's say I wanted to add the contact page. Just click that. I've got it in there twice now, so you can remove one. I don't want the courses there. I think for the demo, all we need to do is a home, and about, and a contact page. So I'm going to leave it like that and go ahead and click publish. So that's really enough work on our header for now. That's enough to get us started. So that's what our menu will look like on desktop, and the Astra theme on mobile will look like this. So straight away, this icon is still too big. So let's go ahead and click here, and we can change our logo width on mobile. Make that 70 again, and click publish. We should also check how it looks on tablet. So it looks fine on tablet, and on mobile, we've got a little mobile menu here rather than the text-based menu. On mobile, we'll get a little, this is called a hamburger. It's a hamburger menu, and exactly the same items are going to be inside the hamburger menu. So let's go back to the desktop view, and there we can see our text menu. So now we're all done editing our header. Let's go down and have a look at our footer. So in the Astra theme, the footer is actually done in Elementor. So we can go back to our home page here, and we can see Edit with Elementor actually gives us a footer option here. So let's go ahead and click that. And so Elementor will load up, and we can see this is the footer of our site here. So it's got our copyright info, a little powered by, a bit of text there, and it's got this whole element here. So we can go ahead and start changing these things. So I'm pretty happy with that copyright information. You could change it to anything you want by clicking that little pencil there. And there we go, we've got our copyright info. So that'll link the current year and the title, and it's going to say copyright. Over here, this is just plain text, and you could put whatever you want in there as well. But I'm pretty happy with how that works, just as it is. And this little information here, let me overshoot your goals. We could just change that. I'm just going to say contact us today, and we could link it to our contact page, for example. So contact us today, and then instead of having a start now button, we could link that to our contact page, and there we go. We could open it in a new window if we wanted to, or leave it in the same menu. We need to get the link for the contact page, so let's just grab that link. From our home page, you can always find the links from the menu just there. I'm going to copy that link address, go back to our footer, and just paste that link in there and hit update. And rather than saying start now, let's just call it a contact, for example, and click update. So now when we go back to our homepage, we can reload. We can see we've got our logo and our changes we made to the menu are all done. And down the bottom, we've got our contact. We've got our footer info there. And if we click contact, it should take us to our contact page, which it does just fine. So all looking pretty good so far. So let's head back to our homepage again, and let's start doing some work on the homepage in Elementor. So let's click Edit with Elementor and wait for Elementor to load up here. So here we are in Elementor, and as you move your mouse around, you can see different elements of the website become highlighted. And at the top of the section, you'll get this little tab here where you can edit the properties of the section. So the first thing we might do is get rid of this guy in the background here. So we're going to go to the section, and in the middle, we can click Edit Section. I'm going to get rid of that little right-click message. And here we can go to Layout, Style, or Advanced. So Layout obviously does the layout of the section. The style is what we want to change here. That will give us our background image. I'm going to choose a new image. So we could choose anything out of our media library, but this is probably a good opportunity to upload some more photos to our media library. I'll show you how to do that right now. Let's go to Upload Files. So from here we can select files from our computer, or we can just drag files from our desktop into the website, which I'll just do now. Here I'm going to upload a bunch of images I've found. If you don't have any good images for your website, I'll show you how to do that right now actually while these are uploading. You can always just go to Pexels.com. Now Pexels.com will give you all these nice free stock photos. So I just searched for technology, and I got lots of nice tech photos that I could use. I chose about a dozen of them and saved them to my computer. To do that, you just click on one and just click free download. When you download them, don't download the original size. It's usually way too big for a website. The large size is going to be fine, and then go ahead and click download. And that should all be good. There'll be a few pop-ups, but whatever. You get the idea. And let's go back to our homepage. So we can see our tech photos have all been uploaded. And let's put this girl on the phone here for our header image. And let's go ahead and insert that photo. Okay, now we can see we've got our girl in the background here. We can do a few little tweaks here with the position and size. I'm just going to set that size to auto. And then we can see that the image is quite a nice wide one, and it's positioned on the top right. We can go ahead and make that different. Say we wanted it right in the center, or on the left a little bit more. I think on that left makes it look a little bit better because we've got a bit more separation between the girl and the text here, and we can actually drag those columns a little bit to separate them a bit more. So I think that looks all right. Let's go ahead and click update. We don't really want these buttons here. I'm going to go ahead and delete those buttons. You can delete any element just by clicking on it. And here we go. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit shorter. So let's just call it idea spot and then tech. There we go. I'll leave a little bit of this information here just for the demonstration. And then what else can we do? We might notice that the background here is a little bit blue. That's not part of what our original image is, and that comes from a background overlay. So let's go back to the section options, and let's go to background overlay there. And you can see there's that blue second color. So we can go ahead and click that. We can change that to anything we like. Maybe we wanted like a darker blue. Makes that text pop out a little bit better. I don't mind that. Let's go ahead and use that and click update. You can change the opacity here as well to make it more or less background. So if we wanted it a more extreme overlay, you move it over to 1, and you can change the angle as well, which changes where the color comes from. So I think they had it on 270, which is coming from that left side of screen, which I think looks pretty good. So let's leave it like that and hit update. I might actually drag that column a little bit more over so the text falls onto the second line. I think that looks a little bit better. There we go. Let's hit update. So let's spend some time now going through what Elementor can actually do. So we can add new sections with that little plus button. We can remove sections with that X button, and we can modify the section with the middle button. So if, say, we wanted to just delete this whole section, we could go ahead, hit the X, get rid of it. Let's add a new section in by pressing there. Now there are different ways we can add new sections. So the first and the most obvious way is just to press the plus button, and you can choose columns, 1 or 2 or 3. I always like to just do 1 or 2, maybe 3, but usually 1 or 2 is good. Let's go for 2. There we can see our 2 columns. And here we've got in our Elementor menu, this little button here gives us our elements. So we can just drag elements into these columns. So first thing I might do is just grab an image and drag that in. Let's pop the image there. And we can go ahead and choose the image from our media library by clicking choose image. And let's grab a nice picture of maybe this little laptop here. Go ahead, insert that in. That'll load up. And we can go ahead and put some things in the left column now. Let's click the elements. Let's grab a heading, pop that heading in. And let's grab some text. Take the text editor there, put the text editor below the menu. So you can just sort of hover your mouse around and see that blue highlight that pops up. That will allow you to drop the element into that area. So there we've got some text, and we can see the white space. It needs some more white space. I'm going to make a new section above here, and let's put some space in there. So just hit the plus, and I'll just use 1 column for this. All I want here is some spacing. So let's click elements and get some spacing, drop that in, and let's get some space until it looks about right. It looks like about 120 is what you like for some nice clean looking space. Let's click update. And to get this looking right, I think I want this more centered in the column. So let's click the column here. We can click edit column, and we can do vertical alignment and horizontal alignment. So I want the vertical alignment to be in the middle, and that moves everything to the middle. And I actually want this text to be centered. So let's click the text, and we want to click text style, and we want the alignment to be centered. So that all looks pretty good. Let's change this to tech reviews. And we want that to be in the middle as well. So let's click center. So that all looks all right. Let's click update. So that's one quick way you can design a whole section. I've actually done 2 sections because this is 1 section and the spacer is a section. I'll show you another way right now, fairly easy. So Elementor actually has some pre-designed sections. So let's go ahead and click the add section here, and we're going to click this little folder here. And so Elementor will load up this little menu here. So it's got entire pages that are designed. You can go ahead and insert them straight into your website. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use one of the Elementor blocks. This gives you some fairly nice minimalist blocks here. So there's different categories. I'm going to look at the one under, say, portfolio. And here we go. We've got a few different designs that we can just drop these into our website. So I'm just going to choose this one and insert. The first time you use this, it's going to say get started, and you'll have to actually log in to an account to use it. But that's all free. Go ahead and let's just create an account. And we'll have to sign up and make a new account here. So just make up a nice strong password with your email, and then create account. Wait for that to load up. And here we go. You can untick this by sharing data thing. You don't need to do that, and just go ahead, click connect. And there we go. You only need to sign in once, and it will save your login. So we'll never need to do that part of it again. And here we go. We've got our section. So the nice thing here is it's all the fonts and text styles are matching our website already. So that's pretty convenient. And anything we don't need in here, we can just go ahead and right click and delete. And instead of saying check out our work, we could say, maybe just say the latest in tech. This might actually look better if it was capitalized. So let's just make that capital L and a capital T. Now it's all title case. We can change these images fairly easily just by clicking on them and again choosing a new image. Let's choose this laptop here. And let's choose this, click on this one. Let's choose this crazy looking matrix thing here. There we go. So instead of commercial photography, this could be something like laptop reviews. And this could be arty projects, could just be like coding tips. And this text is a little bit too light. I'm going to go, let's change the style of this text. Then we go down here to content, and we can see in the description color, it's set to gray. So we can change that to any other color we like. I might change it to black. Click update. Let's go ahead and do the same thing over on this image. So that's image box style. Go down to content and description color. We want it to be black. There we go. Okay, so that wraps up building a new section from the Elementor blocks library. So that's a really quick and fairly simple method. And there's lots of other blocks to choose from, so you can get lots of designs there. And the third method I'm going to show you is probably the simplest method of all. Let's say we really liked one of the sections that already exist in the starter site. So let's say I really like this one with the laptop and the little box here. So what we can do is go to the top of the section and copy it. And let's say I wanted to put something similar a little bit further up. So let's say right in here, I might add the section. So, and then right click and just paste the section in. And that puts our copy of the section right where we want it. Then it's just a matter of customizing it to fit the content you'd like. So just go back to the section style. We can see that has a background image. Let's go ahead and choose another image for this one. I might choose, let's go for this laptop instead. There we go. We can see we've got another laptop in the background. Let's change the background overlay. Let's say we want it to be blue on the other side. So let's change the angle to 270. And we can see we've got the blue on the other side now. And we could actually change this column and put it on the other side. So now we've got a little bit of a different section. We can go ahead and change the text. I'm going to call this one laptops. And I might just delete these little things here. And instead of having those things, let's have a different element. We could put in an icon maybe. And let's change this icon to something else. We could put a laptop icon. And there we go. So I might put it on the left there. So that looks all right. I could even change the primary color of that laptop. I think it would look good as a white color. There, that matches everything up. So there we go. So straight away, we can see, well, we've made a nice little separate section just by copying the section down there and then changing a few things to make it into a completely new section. So that is really quick, and the best thing about that is all your design is going to be consistent with the rest of your website. The only thing I didn't really like was maybe a little bit more white space up there would be nice. I'm going to repeat that white space process by dragging a section based on a spacer element there. And there we can get that white space how we like it. That looks about right. So click update. Okay, so now we've learned 3 methods to make new sections in Elementor. So you've got copy and paste and then edit the section to make it into a new section. We can use the elements and build a section from scratch just by dragging and dropping elements from Elementor into there. That's quite straightforward. And using blocks from Elementor and then customizing them to suit your website. So there's 3 methods. I think once you've used these 3 methods, you've got enough skill to build a lot of different kinds of pages in Elementor. And so those three methods probably are enough to get you started and get you building a few nice websites. Okay, for our next step, let's look at adding blog posts to our website. Now, if you look at Elementor, we're using the free version for this, and you can look at all the elements here. You'll notice that there's no element for blog posts. If we head over to elementor.com, we can see you need pro widgets to do some things in Elementor, and the most obvious one is posts. There's no way to add posts in the free version, but that's okay. I'm going to show you a tip, a free way of adding posts using Elementor. Okay, so to do this, we'll need to head back to our dashboard, and from our dashboard menu, we go to plugins and we go to add new. We're going to need a couple of plugins to do this. So let's search for Elementor blog. Now, a few things will come up here, and a lot of them work really well. You can use premium add-ons for Elementor, essential add-ons for Elementor. Both of these work really well, and they give you heaps of different elements you can add for free into Elementor. So I definitely recommend trying these out. But for this, the most actually attractive post grid add-on that I've seen is this one here. It's reasonably new, and I'm going to click install here. It gives you a lot of good post grid options. Okay, so after you've clicked install and activate, you've got your PostGrid Elementor add-on in your list of installed plugins. So that's all good. There's one more plugin that I'll add to do this. I'm going to add one called Duplicator. It's just a way of copying posts that you've already made. So if you've made a nice post and you want to make a copy of it and then just change it a little bit, this is a good way to do that. Post Duplicator is the one you want. I'm going to install that. This is optional, but it's going to speed this tutorial up. So I'm going to add that. If you're actually using this one, Essential Add-ons for Elementor, it includes a post duplicator. So that's another way of doing it as well. But let's click Activate here. Okay, so we've got our two new plugins installed and activated, PostGrid Elementor Add-on and Post Duplicator. Okay, so now we're ready to start adding some posts. So let's go to our posts and let's go to all posts here. So the first time you look at your posts menu, you might just have one Hello World post. So let's view that. It just comes with the WordPress install. This is your basic template. So you'll have your title. If you've got an image, you'll have an image, and there's a little bit of metadata here and your comment section down there. So I'll show you how to customize all this in just a second. So let's go back to our posts. First thing I might do is trash the Hello World post, and let's make a new one. Okay, so I'm going to call this one Tech Post 1. And then let's just add some filler text in here. And you can see that it's just a matter of typing things into each block. And when you want to make a new paragraph, you just hit enter. And you can add lots of different kinds of blocks, images, galleries, quotes. Have a play around with those. But for this demonstration, let's just put some text in. Maybe let's add an image in just to show you how that works. We can just go to our media library. Any of the images we uploaded previously, we can totally add in through this editor. And the other thing we want to do is add a featured image. So let's go to document here on the right side of the screen, and let's set a featured image for our post. So let's go with that one of the laptop. And then I think we're looking pretty good. So let's hit publish and publish. So now let's go ahead and view our post. So there we go. We can see the basic template. We see our header that we've made. We see the featured image, the title, that bit of metadata, and a couple of filler paragraphs and our image there. And then we've got a comment section here to leave a comment. So first thing we can do is we can turn the comments off. I'll show you how to do that. Let's go back to our post. To edit the post, there's a few different ways you can get there. From the actual post itself, there'll be an edit post option in the header menu there, so you can go ahead and do that. The other way is just through the dashboard, posts, all posts. You'll be able to edit your post there. But anyway, on our edit screen, what we can do here is we can go to discussion, and discussion is where we allow comments and allow pingbacks. Now, if you're sharing with other blogs, pingbacks and trackbacks are useful. For this demo, we're going to turn those off and we're going to turn the comments off. So let's hit update. And now when we go back to our post, let's reload the post. And there we go. The comment section is now gone. So it's up to you whether you like comments. By default, if someone leaves a comment, you'll have to approve the comment in your dashboard. They'll pop up in there. And if you like the comment, you can add it to the bottom of the post. And if not, you can delete them. In my experience, new bloggers, you're probably not going to get any good comments. It's going to be 99% spammers. Probably turn it off, I think, at first until you get a bit more of an audience. Now, for our next step, let's look at these breadcrumbs here. So to customize that, let's go to our theme customizer and wait for that to load up. Okay, from our theme customizer, we can go and customize some of the blog template elements here. So we click blog and then we click single post. And this will set the template up for all of our blog posts. So we can see here we've got our featured image. You can turn that on or off, and that will by default hide the top featured image. I kind of like the featured image. The things I don't really like are having all this here by default. So you can actually turn the whole title and blog meta off, and then you can do everything from within the post, which some people might like that sort of customizability. But otherwise, I'm going to turn some of these meta off, and now it's just going to show the title without any meta. So you might want to have, say, just maybe the date, or if you've got multiple authors, showing the author's name can be good. But for this demo, I'm going to turn all of these things off, have it nice and clean. And now when we go back to our blog post, we can reload, and there we go. The other thing you might want to make sure of is having the comments disabled. So let's go back to our edit post. Every time you make a new post here, the comments might be turned on. I've turned them off already here, but just make sure that those are off or on, however you like. The other thing you can do is go to your settings and go to discussion. And by default, WordPress will often have allow people to submit comments on new posts, but you can either tick or untick. I've left that unticked. I think when you install WordPress, that's usually ticked, so comments are usually turned on. So yeah, I'd leave that unticked, go down and click save. And so now whenever we make a new post, the post won't actually have comments enabled on it. So let's try and do that now actually, shall we? So let's call the new post, let's call it a laptop of the year. Let's put some paste some random text. Let's get some filler text from, say, lorem ipsum text from loremipsum.io. This is a good way if you're just doing test designs to put some filler text on your blog. So let's just make a couple of paragraphs there. Let's go back to document and let's set that featured image up. So let's have a picture of a nice laptop. There we go. So this is a pretty nice little test post. I'm going to close out of that, and you should actually see comments are already turned off on this post, so no need to do that on every post now. Let's go back to all of our posts. So we can see we've got a laptop and a tech post. Let's make a few more posts, because I think for our next step, I'm going to show you how to actually display a post grid on your homepage. Okay, and before we do that, let's actually set up some categories. The nice thing about WordPress is you can have different categories of posts, and you'll be able to sort and display different categories on different pages. It's good to set that up nice and early. So I'm going to call one category tech and just add that as a new category. I'm going to make another category called laptops. So all the topics you want to blog about, you can make a category, and you can actually assign posts onto multiple categories too if you like. So let's go back to our posts and laptop. Let's hit quick edit, and instead of being uncategorized, let's make laptop about laptops and click update. And let's make the tech post about tech and click update. So there we go. So our goal here is to add these posts onto our actual homepage. So if we look in Elementor to edit this page, the free version of Elementor, it doesn't actually give you any way of displaying posts. You might head over to Elementor And you can check out the Pro version. The Pro version, one of the most important widgets that they give you in the Pro version is the one called Posts. You might have noticed earlier that we installed one called Elementor Posts for free. So now when we look in Elementor, we can actually see that we've got our posts in there. So let's reload this. This must have been one that I had open earlier. So thanks to that plugin that I just installed, we've actually got a free post grid in here. So this will actually allow us to add the post grid straight onto our page and display those posts. So let's go back to those posts. We only have two. A grid with only two posts probably isn't going to look very good. So let's use that duplicator, and that will allow us to duplicate these posts. So remember that duplicator plugin we added earlier? That's what it does. It gives you this duplicate post option. So just for this demo, I thought that's a pretty nice thing to have. And I think in general, if you make a nice post and you like the layout of it, you want to reuse that layout on a future post, the duplicator is good for that as well. So now we've got 4 posts. We can add a nice grid with 4 different layouts. So let's go back to Elementor and let's decide where would we like to display these posts. So let's say we wanted to display them right here. We could just add a section, and let's drag that post grid element into the section, and that should pop up. There we go. By default, it looks like this. We can click on it and change the layout. It gives us 5 layouts. If we actually go to the homepage of these guys who made this post grid, you can see all the different layouts that they use. It's by WP Concern, and you can see the default layout looks like that. And they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different layouts. I really like the 5 one. And you can display them in 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns with borders, curved images. Anyway, there's a lot of things we can do. I think that's why I like this one over the other options that we had in our plugin choices. But let's go back to Elementor, and I'm going to use layout 5. You can play around and see which one looks good for your particular blog. Next thing I'll do is columns. I'm going to make 2 columns, and we're going to have 4 per page. I mean, you can actually have that as many posts as you want per page. You could have lots of posts on a page and display every piece of work you've ever done. But for this, let's just display 4 posts. Now, to clean this up a little bit, you can see that the metadata is on there with date and comments down there. You can turn those off just by clicking there. That cleans that up. Read more is enabled. You could turn read more off with that option there. And then excerpt length, by default, it shows the first 25 words of your post. You could change that, increase it or decrease it. I thought, 25 actually probably looks good for a 2-column layout. And you can even turn the title on or off, or turn the excerpt off. If you just wanted to have a grid, you could do that. Some people like to actually write the title onto the featured image in graphics software, and that's another nice way of doing it as well. But I think I actually kind of just like having the title and the excerpt, and that sort of entices the reader into clicking it and reading the rest. So have a play around, get the layout that suits your blog, click update when you're happy with it. The other thing you can actually do is customize which categories are displayed. So that's not under layout, it's under query. And this shows you the categories, and by default, it's going to show all your blog posts. But let's just say we only wanted to show posts about laptops. We could actually build a whole page just about laptops and only display our laptop posts. You can add as many or as few categories to here as you want. So we could add the tech ones back, and that is tech posts and laptop posts. Or if you just delete them all, it's just going to display all. So totally up to you. This is why people actually like WordPress, is that posts give you very flexible ways of managing your content. So you can make different sections of your website dedicated to different categories, all really easy and really easy to change in the future and customize things how you like. So now we've got a decent looking blog grid. We can actually add elements above or below this blog grid. So I'm going to add a heading just above it here, just drag one in. I'm going to call this, say, latest from our blog. Last thing we'll do is just let's center this header, I think. Let's click on it, click center on the alignment and click update. And I think we're pretty much good to go. Let's go back to our main page and reload it. We have pretty much all the things we need. So we've done our header in the Astra customizer. We've learned how to use Elementor to build these sections up. It showed you how to add a blog here. All these blogs link through to the actual blog posts. So, I mean, these are the main skills you need to build the website. The last thing I might cover is the contact form. Let's go to our contact page and have a look. So this contact page, you can have your phone number and email. That's easy to change. You just go to edit with Elementor and you can change that just fine. This actual contact form, the emails from your website to your email, this is one you'll have to customize through the dashboard. So let's get started. We want to go back to our dashboard, so you can just go through there. And WP Forms is the one that powers that form. So let's click on that one. You can see that they've set up a form called Contact Us already. Let's click Edit on that form. And that's going to load the form up. You can see there's Contact Us form where they put your name, email, subject, your message. You can actually add a few different things onto there. If you wanted to add another single line of text, you could add that wherever you want. Click on there. You could move it up or put it wherever you like. You can totally customize the form to your own liking, but to get the form to actually work, this is the important part. So we want to go to settings and notifications. So it's going to send to the admin email. That's going to be the email you use to set up the WordPress website. If you want to choose a different email, you can just type that email in there, like whoever at hotmail.com. That's totally fine. The from email is the most important part, because if the from email doesn't match the actual domain of the website, the email is probably not actually going to go through. So what you'll need to do is delete that admin email, unless the admin email actually matches your website's name, which can be good as well. But let's say I'm at ideaspot.site, but this needs to be wherever your website is actually hosted. So whatever.com you're on, put that in there. So I'm just going to call that contact form at ideaspot.site and hit save. And now when the website sends out this form email to your email, it's going to say it's from contact form at ideaspot.site. And this is important because if you're sending it through to Outlook or to Gmail, they're going to have spam filters. And if the from field from the email doesn't match where it came from, they might think it's spam. So if that's saying that it's from Gmail and it's trying to send through to Gmail when it's actually from your own website and it's not from Gmail at all, that's going to look like spam. So make sure this is set up properly to make sure this form actually works. I do have another video where I talk a bit more about using these contact forms, but that's really all you need to make this work. So we can go ahead and close out of this. That should be all fine now. So I do remember I was going to talk about one more thing. I'm using this logo. This is the same logo I always use, but let's say we wanted to design a new logo. I'll show you a really nice quick way to do that. So go over to canva.com. You'll need to make a sign up for this, but again, that's pretty quick. You can just sign in with Google. Once you're logged in, there's all kinds of little templates you can use to make graphics. And the one we're going to look at is called logo. So let's load that up. And for this example, we had a tech blog. So let's look at something that might suit a tech blog. Okay, now this one here looks pretty good. Now you wouldn't think, oh, it's not a tech blog thing. It's got a fork and a spoon here. Let's work on making that more suitable for a tech blog. I probably picked this because I wanted to show how customizable this stuff was. So you can go ahead, look at that image there, and you can go for elements, and let's search for an icon that looks a little bit techy. So maybe let's go for a laptop. Maybe let's see if we got any free laptops. There's a few free ones. I think with making a logo, you want to pick something nice and simple. So let's just go with that black one there. Let's get rid of our fork and spoon. You can see that when you drag things around, the alignment bar pops up there. And then you can get that just right. I'm going to call this idea tech. And then let's get rid of the year. I really want this to be a bit bigger. And there we go. I mean, we don't necessarily need all that white space. We could make that a bit bigger. Let's go to the edge, shall we, for this logo. We need it to be in the center. Let's leave a little bit of white space. I'm just worried about things clipping off the edge. And move it around so we get it dead center. Undo. I'm going to lock that in place with that lock. Okay, now let's select these middle ones. We want to get this dead center. Can I get it center? Might actually help if we reduce the width of this to make that a bit more easy to move around. There we go. So that's in the center and that is in the center. The spacing is okay. There we go. So you get the idea. It's a decent logo. And that took me, a couple minutes. Let's go ahead and download that. Suggesting PNG, let's do that. And that's going to go ahead and download. They're going to offer you to print it onto business cards. That might be cool, but whatever. Okay, now back on our dashboard, let's go to Appearance and Customize. This is where we can replace the logo with that new one that we just made. So I believe that is under Header and the site identity. So you can see the logo we've already got. We can say change the logo and let's upload the file and let's just drag that logo in, the one that we just downloaded. There we go. Let's select that guy. We don't need to crop it. And there we go. We've got our new logo. Let's hit publish. So we can close out of this and let's have a look. So that's the basic idea. You can replace the logo fairly easily with these, all of these pre-made designs in Canva. Where was I? Just under there. And it's not just for logos. It's really nice for any graphics that you're going to use on your website or any social media that you're going to do. You can be very productive with all this. Or it's just a matter of changing text and images. If you combine it with that pexels.com that we talked about earlier, you'll get lots of free graphics, free photos to use with it. So have fun with this one. So back on our website now, we've completely customized everything. We know how to use Elementor to build pages. We know how to make new blog posts. We know how to actually customize our header and footer. So everything's there. So now that your website's all set up, there was just one more step I wanted to cover, and that is the CloudFlare CDN. So that's Cloudflare Content Delivery Network, and that's included free with SiteGround. So you may as well set that up. It offers you additional network speed and better network security. So it's worth taking a few minutes just to set that up. So let's get started on that. Okay, so back on our account page, we go to websites and we want to set up Cloudflare CDN. So click add there and wait for this to load up. So from here, we can choose our Cloudflare plan. You can choose between the free and the premium. The free one's going to be totally fine for what we want to do. So make sure that one's selected and then scroll down, click the confirm option and click activate. So just wait for this to load up. It'll say it's processing. It usually takes a few seconds for this to finish, so just be patient. And now it says we're almost done. We have to go to Site Tools, so click that one. Again, waiting for this to load up. From here, there's 3 steps to getting this activated. We have to create a Cloudflare account first, so let's click Set Up. I'm going to create a new Cloudflare account for this one. If you've already got one, that's cool. Email and password and click confirm and then click create and just wait a second for that one. Okay, so we're almost done now. All we have to do is click complete activation here. Again, it's going to load up for a few seconds. We'll get this little processing message, but that is all good. Just be patient. And now we're going to get a little success tick there, and let's click back. And the only other thing we have to do is this important message here. We have to select full strict for SSL support. So let's just go ahead and do that. Full strict. There we go. All done.
Okay, congratulations if you made it right to the end here. If you've made it this far, give us a like. You must have a pretty good looking website if you made it through this whole video. But anyway, if you ran into any trouble or you want to change anything, or if you got any questions about how to do something in particular, just let me know in the comments, because like I said, I'll answer every single comment and I'll make sure I'll do my best to help you. So hopefully you've done okay here, and you can go on, build this website, make it better. From here, it's a basic website, but you can use my other videos and you can add drop shipping, you can add affiliate blogging, you can do print on demand, you can make a site that sells hoodies or t-shirts or mugs, whatever. Okay, that basically wraps it up. Make sure you hit subscribe, because I'll be back every single week with more tutorials. So let me know if there's a specific tutorial that you'd like me to cover, because we'd really like your opinion. I'm just going to try and do my best to help my audience, and that's about it really. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.